Okay, so in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to add in all of the validation scripts that we need to um, put into this form so it works the way that it did in the previous demo. Okay, so to start off, let's just open up your sketch, and we already created this HTML. First thing you want to do is you want to have a script tag. So we're just gonna add script, and source equals, and we're gonna call this form.js, right? Then make sure you create a new form. Also, I've added an ID to my form called registration_form, and we're gonna just copy and paste that because we're gonna need to capture this element inside of the our JavaScript. So, and that's going to be the first thing we're going to do, right? So, looking at this, the thing that really kicks off all of the validation that's going to happen is clicking on this register button. So, you could listen for the click event of this button, but there's actually, because this lives inside of a form element, right over here, form has another event called submit. So we're going to listen to that instead. So let's do var, and we'll call this registration form equals document.get element by ID, and add that there, right? And now this is going to give us access to that form, right? Then the next thing we want to do is actually we want to add an event listener. And it's going to be of type submit, and we'll create a function that we're going to call when that event gets dispatched, and we're going to have it call handle. Let's call it handle submission. Okay. So now we have to create this function because it doesn't exist. Right. So let's just go over here and we'll say function handle submission, right? And because this is an event that's calling this function, this event is going to basically injects this little parameter in here, and this event is going to have some data that we might be able to use later on. Okay, so let's just think about this a little bit more. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to actually start to grab the values of these forms, right? Because we want to be able to do things like check to see how many characters are in username, right? So in order to do that, now we could use this document.getElementById. However, what we're going to use instead, because we are in the form, is we're going to do it slightly different. We're going to say, actually, let's just do a console.log. And you know what? Actually, let's not do a console.log, because what's going to end up happening is this is going to, because we have that HTTP, it's going to want to leave this, so that console.log is not going to show up. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to use debugger like this, right? And what debugger is going to do, when this gets called, it's going to tell my debugging app to stop, and then we'll be able to test some stuff. Okay, so let's go here, create. I'll add my inspector, right? And this is essentially creating like a. Here, let's just do that, right? And we'll hit register, and you notice it says pause in debugger, and it's paused right here, right? So now that we're inside of this function, now we could actually do some stuff and test it. So what I want to do is if I go to registration form, right, and I do elements, you'll notice that I get 9 results, and it's going to give me all of the elements and a bunch of other stuff that are inside of this field, right? And that's exactly what we want to do. Okay. So what we'll do now is we're going to, so if I go here and I wanted to grab one of these, you grab it by adding the name, right? So if I go elements and I add the name that we used in the HTML file. So let's say, I think one of them was a username. Then you're going to get that one. And the cool thing about this, and one of the reasons why I decided to use this instead of the other get element by ID, is because we can also do hobbies, right? So this is our checkboxes, and now you'll notice it shows me all the checkboxes. Get element by ID wouldn't do that. In order to do something similar to this, we would have to use a class name. However, because it's a checkbox, it already has a name, so we don't really need to add a class for it. So it has a name attribute. And I'll show you what that means right now. Okay, so now let's just go back here, take out that debugger. And what I mean is in these, we have this name, right? So it already has hobbies because all of these checkboxes live within the same group under hobbies, right? Because if I check two of them, they all are going to be in an array, right? Okay, so next thing. All right, so handle submission. So that means now we know we get user name, right? And that's going to equal registration.form.elements.username. Okay, so that's the first one. We could just copy this. All right, I mean, a couple other things. So there's four things total, right? There's username, then there is password, then there is confirm, and then the last one I believe is called hobbies. This is our checkboxes, right? So let's just make sure. Username, so he said it's username, password, confirm, hobbies. So we'll go here. Where's my, so username, password, confirm, and then hobbies, right? And so we got that. Okay. Next thing that we want to do is we're going to get a bunch of stuff here within hobbies, right? But what we actually want, hobbies is going to give me everything. It's going to give me all of our checkboxes. I don't want all of our checkboxes. I only want the ones that are checked, right? So let's just do a debugger here again, right? And we're going to just check a couple things, and we're going to click it, right? Now, if we go in here and we say, let's go back here, hobbies, right? That's going to give me all three. However, what I really want, that first one, so if I go hobbies 0, that's going to give me the first one, right? And if I go hobbies.0.checked, it's going to say true, right? If I go hobbies.to, the last one, that checked, it's going to give me false, right? Because this last one is not checked. The first one and the second one are. So what I want to do is I want to actually do a loop and only add the ones that are true into an array, right? Okay, so let's do that right now. So here we go. We're going to create, first create an array, right? We'll call this hobbies array, and just make the array right there, right? Then what we want to do is we want to create a quick little array here. So I equals 0, I less than hobbies dot length, right? And then I plus plus, right? And so I'm going to go through everything inside of hobbies. So it's going to give me all these checkboxes. right? And then in here I want to create a condition, right? So I want only the ones that are true. So if hobbies I, right? Because this is going to iterate 0, 1, 2, 3, or 0, 1, 2, right? Dot checked, right? So if true, then do this. If false, then it's not going to do this, right? So if true, we want to actually push. So we want to push. So what do we want to push? What we want to actually push is the value that each of these is. So what do I mean by that? So inside of each of these checkboxes, there's a value. So we have running, walking, talking. So this is different than the label. See, the label has a capital R. The value is just something that is inside of the checkbox itself. What's the value of the checkbox itself? So what we want to do here is we want to actually push. We're going to go into the individual checkbox and just write dot value, and then that's going to insert the thing that was in that value. We'll just test that right now. I added the debugger again, right? And now I'm going to select. So running and talking and register, and there it stops. And now if I hover over array, right there, you'll see 0 running, 1 talking. So it added those into that array. Okay. All right. That's just good to know too. You can hover over all of these little things, anything inside of this function, and you'll be able to see what's inside of it. So that's our array, and this is the hobbies array, right? Okay, all right, so let's continue. So we were definitely getting somewhere here. Now we have hobbies, right? The next thing that we want to do is we want to do our first validation, right? So the first validation is username. We want to make sure it's got more than 3 characters, right? So let's say if, so how do we figure out how many characters username has? So we know username is here, right? Username's there, and the way that we would be able to get that, let's just say here, right? If we go to register.form elements, and we go to username, right? That gives me the input field. If I go username dot value, just like we did for the checkboxes, that's going to give me what's inside of this text box. And then if I say username dot value dot length, that gives me the amount of characters that are inside of that, right? So if I add one more, now it's 6. Okay, so we could just grab that, or actually no, we have it ready. So let's go here. So username dot value dot length, right, is greater, or actually is less than, say less than 3, right? If that happens, then what we want to do is let's just create an alert, right, and have it say something like, please make sure you use make sure your username has more than 3 letters, something like that, right? Okay, so we have that. Then what we want to do, so what's going to happen is, so we can do this. Actually, let's just do it, test it right now, right? And it's only going to have 2 letters, and I'm going to hit return, and this is going to say, please make sure your username has 3 letters, right? And I press OK, and we have to fix that. So to fix that so it doesn't leave, what we could do for that is, let's see here. So here we have an alert. So to do that, so the reason why it's doing that is because we have, so whenever you have this a submit event, a submission just by default is going to go to this HTML, right? Or whatever's inside of this action. However, in JavaScript, you can tell it not to do that, right? And the way you do that is you go in here, and so if it's going over here, I want it to stop that. I want to stop that default action. And so the way you do that is you grab this event, and inside of this event, there's it's called prevent default, right? And that's going to say don't do that. And then you just do a little return false. Okay, so we have that, and now when this happens, it should, let's test it. So we say 2, right? Register. Thought something comes up, and now it stays there, right? However, it would be really nice because it told me that I have this problem with the username. So wouldn't it be nice if it just took me right to that username, so I don't have to click into it and then add more? So let's do that. So to do that, you have to set the focus. So so username is my element, right? So I say username, that's the variable for my element, dot focus, right, with little parentheses, right? And what this is going to say is it's going to say go to this element and bring focus to it. So let's test that again. Here, we add something, we register, it's saying no, we press OK, and now it's focused. So I can start, I don't have to click into it, it's already there. Okay, there you go. That's our first one. Let's do another one. So the other one that we want to do is password, right? So we want to make sure that, or actually, you know what? Let's just do one where making sure that you have at least something in a password, right? So we can do a similar thing. Why don't we just do the same thing for password? We're just going to grab this, and it has to be at least 3, right? So we say password instead of username. We just say password, right? Or you know what? Let's just do this. Take this out. Remove. Let's see. Nah, just leave it like that. All right, we'll just say, so say password, and then here we'll bring it back to the password, the password field, if we don't have at least 3. So here we go, and we'll go here. So this time we have a bunch in the username, so we pass there, and now we should fail here, right? Register, and please make sure your user, oh, I forgot to change, over here it should say password, okay? And now, so we go over 3, and then just 2. Please make sure your password has more than 3 letters. Great. So there you go. So we created 2 little validation scripts. Now, the next thing that we want to do, well, next thing that you all could do is add some more, right? So one other thing that we need to figure out here, which would be a good challenge for you, is to make sure that password and confirm password match, right? They need to match in order for you to be able to register. If they don't, then it should give you an alert that says, sorry, your password and confirmation need to match. And then there's other, a bunch of other sorts of types of validation that you might think of that you could play around with. Okay, so the next part is actually having it submit, right? So now what we have now is, so I have a username, so just say ABC is my username. I added my password, 123, 123. I say running, talking, and I register. And now it gives me sends me to congrats, and if you look over here, it's got all of our stuff. It says uname, ABC, password 123, password 2, 123, hobbies, running, and talking, right? Now, if I don't want password 123 and password 2, 123 to come over here, what I could do is I could just go here and remove. So I could remove name. I believe I could just go here, right, and I could take it out from here. All right. Now when I test this, oops, let's go back here. Go ASD 123, register, and now when I look at my stuff here, there's no password in there anymore. Now I just have 2 hobbies and a uname. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we've already done this stuff, so I'm not going to go over this again too much. I'm just going to grab it from another file. Where is that file? So this is a congrats file. Here we go. So I'm just going to grab this and I'm going to paste it and create a new file, new confirmation.js. Right. And I'm just going to paste this here. I'm going to walk you through this real quick. Alright, so first thing you want to do is you want to script and add the source confirmation.js. Alright, and now going to confirmation.js. Okay, so the thing up here, right, I basically grabbed this from a Stack Overflow comment which says how to get the value from the get parameter. So basically what this is going to do is going to grab these values, right, and it's going to create an object, a really nice object for me, right? So don't worry too much about this stuff. I literally copied and pasted it from another place, which is totally fine. So here, someone had the question, and in there, here's what I grabbed, right? Over here is where I am. This is where I'm grabbing. I'm grabbing the substring. So this query is actually giving me what's in that space. So actually, let me just go here. All right. I will. Okay. So one thing that we need to do. Let me see where this is. 47 message. Okay, so we need a message. So I just need to create a little div here and give it an ID equal to message. Okay. Yeah, so it gave me a little issue here. It told me that the issue is on line 47. I went to line 47 and I realized that message L is here, and I was looking for get element by ID message, and then I realized that message didn't exist. Okay, and there we go. So now we have undefined like running and talking. Okay, let's go back here. Why did it say undefined? So the reason it says undefined is because, okay, so we're looking for parse string username, and actually it's uname, because that's what it says up here, uname, right? And now, there we go. ASD likes running and talking. All right. So now that we got that working, so this is working. So, but before we wrap this up, what I want to do is I'm going to create a breakpoint here. And just like I did before where I created a debugger and I typed it, what you could do here in this area is you could just click and it creates this little arrow, and it's just going to stop there. So actually I want it to stop here on line 32. Now when I refresh, it's going to stop there at line 32. And now what you could do, I'm going to float over query, And if you see query, you see exactly what was on the top there on that parameter. It says uname, hobbies running, hobbies talking. That's exactly what was up there, right? Then what's happening, it's going to parse query string, right? Parse query string is sending it to this function, and it's doing a whole bunch of stuff and creating, basically ripping apart this string and making it into a nice little object. And then if I look over here, that's my object. Uname is ASD, and inside of hobbies, there's running and there's talking, right? If you peek in here, like you'll see, you know, we're creating a query string object here, right? And then in there, they're adding, you know, they're adding it into, you know, they're just basically building the object in here. They're doing these splits, splitting wherever they see an equal sign, you know. So that's basically how this works. And that is it. Let's just do one last run, full run, just to make sure everything is good. So we'll refresh. We'll say Alex. Oops. Say Alex. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Running, walking. Register. And Alex likes running and walking. All right, and that's it.